Hello guys, welcome back to the Kotlin series. Today we'll learn about functions in Kotlin. We'll see its syntax and how to create our own function. So what are functions? If we are talk about in programming language, function is a group of related statements that perform a specific task. So functions are used to break a large program into smaller parts, and you have already seen few functions like println and main function in our previous videos. So let's get started with the programming stuff. Let me just first create a user defined function, fun name, and I'm going to pass it two arguments here. The first one is first name and its data type is string. The second one is and last name and its data type. Just simply print it. I hope you guys have seen a previous video of string template because I am going to use that in a video. So just simply write println, put the dollar symbol, first name, put the dollar symbol and last name. So if you don't know about the string template, just let me give you the brief overview. If you want to access a variable name inside the double quotes, then you have to write dollar symbol in front of it. So you can easily access these variable name inside the double quotes. And now just simply call the function name and pass the parameters. Let's say Kajal Thakur. And just execute it, and here we got the output. Let's move to our second example, in which we're going to solve a plus b the whole square. I hope you guys are familiar with this formula. If not, I will tell you. Okay, so let's create a user defined function here, and let's call it a plus b, and it takes some arguments, a which is of int type and b which is of int type. And now I'm going to take a variable, let's say result, and define the formula of a plus b the whole power. So it is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So how can we write it here? Just simply write a into a, which is a square, plus b into b, which is b square, plus 2 into a into b. That's it. But now for this user defined function, I want to return a value of result. Okay, so how to return value works in Kotlin. If you want to return a value in Kotlin, then just simply put a colon here just after the parenthesis and define the data type of your return value, which is int in our case. Okay, so just simply return it, return result, and call the function from the main method. So it is a plus b, and I'm going to pass the parameters, let's say 2 or 3. So now this function is going to return me something, so I have to store it. So let me just make it var, just write anything, let's say x variable. Whatever this function is going to return me, I'm going to store it in this x variable and just simply print it, println x, and execute it. Okay, so here we got 25 and it's totally correct. You can check here, the value of 2 here is going to this a, and the value of b here is going to this b. Now as we can see here, for a, 2 into 2 is equal to 4, and for b, 3 into 3 is equal to 9, and for 2 into a into b, which is 2 into 2 into 3 is equal to 12. So when you are going to add all of them, you'll get the result 25, which is your answer. Okay, let me tell you one more thing here. If you do not want to return anything here in Kotlin, so what we did in our previous languages like Java, C and C++, when we don't want to return anything, we just simply write void. In Kotlin, there is nothing like void here. So in Kotlin, if you don't want to return anything, you can write unit, and it's totally optional. So in simple words, unit in Kotlin corresponds to the void in Java. Like void, unit is the return type of any function that doesn't return any meaningful value, and it is totally optional to mention the unit as the return type. Unit is a real class with only one instance. Let me show you one more simple example here just to make your concepts more clear. We are going to make a sum user defined function here, which is very common. So let's do it. Simply define a function and name it as a sum, and it takes an argument, let's say a, which is of type int, and b, which is of type int again. Let's take a variable result and define the formula a plus b, which is going to store in a result variable, and I want to return something from this function. So obviously it is of type int, and return the value here, return result, and just simply call it from the main function sum and pass the parameters. So let's say 10, 20, and as you know, this function returns something, you have to store the value. So var x, so whatever this sum function is going to return you, it will going to store in this x variable. So just execute it. Oops, I just forgot to print it. Let me just do that. Println sum of a and b is $x, and execute it again, and it will going to work perfectly fine this time. And here we got the output 30. I hope you guys find this easy. So this is it for the video. Hope you liked the video.